yolks I asked them, it's Cubby.
Back here at George Sparky Anderson Field as the Oaks and Riptide just one half an inning through. No score still as Gabe Howard was able to work through some traffic with 2 on and had 2 strikeouts in that inning. Now leads way to Tommy Kenlinger, the leadoff man today for the Oaks, back in his regular position out in center field. Batting .278 on this season. As he takes a strike on the inside from pitcher Jake Covey, the senior at Concordia University, originally from Costa Mesa High School, Costa Mesa, California. It's his now 2nd game starting as it's fouled off to the right.
And to be clear, Concordia University, Irvine.
So Jake Covey now making his 3rd appearance of the summer. He's pitched a total of 5 innings. Has allowed 3 hits, no runs, and no walks, so 7 strikeouts. As that's grounded to third base, Evans gets under it. Throw is in time, 1 down.
Yeah, well, Jake Covey, he's previously played at New Mexico State and Orange Coast College in 2023 for Concordia. He was NCWBA 3rd Team All-American as well as D2 CCA Regional Pitcher of the Year and 1st Team All-Region, as well as Pac West Pitcher of the Year and 1st Team All-Pac West.
Lucas Daniel shoots one up the middle. That's going to be a base hit as it's a 1-out single to get the first hit of the day for the Oaks. So 1 out, 1 on now, brings up Tyler Hawley and brings up Jacob Galloway, I apologize. Jacob Galloway now coming to the plate, playing left field today. We've seen him a few times out in the outfield, usually behind the dish, just doing it all this season for the Oaks. One of the All-Stars when participating in the California Collegiate League Showcase game. To get to the rest of your batting order, in the middle of the order is Holly Johnson Wilkes. And then your last 3, Landon West, Zach Mora, and Cade Falskin. So 1 out, 1 on. First pitch to Galloway. Takes the ball low and outside, counts 1-0. Well, Galloway this season has been extremely effective at the plate. He's batting .320, 22 runs, 24 hits, 20 RBIs, all which are top 3 among all Oaks players this summer. The 1-0 pitch. High and outside this time, counts 2 balls, 0 strikes.
1 home run as well, almost 4 weeks ago at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field against the Saints.
Came in just for a pinch hitter, as for Nolan Johnson yesterday was 0 for 1 with a walk. The 2-0 pitch just hits the outside corner for a strike inside. It's now a 2-1 count here as Danny Witz this season has 2 stolen bases. It's been caught once. The 2-1 pitch here to Galloway. Takes a ball outside as Galloway just recently committed to Oregon State. Now playing for his 3rd collegiate team. Spent 2025 with Texas A&M, where in 50 at-bats he had 1 home run, 11 hits, and 7 RBIs, batting .220. The 3-1 pitch, as it's just outside for ball 4, as it's a walk for Jacob Galloway. It's now 2 on for the Oaks, and it's the first walk this season that Jake Covey has allowed.
Yeah, Jake Covey in just his 3rd pitching appearance. He's had a pretty good start to the season. Hasn't allowed a run yet. He has struck out 7 batters this season.
Yeah, 6 of those 7 came out in a season high versus the San Diego Bombers back on July 12th. So it's now 1 out, 2 on with Tyler Hawley, the right-hander, facing off against the right-handed pitcher, Jake Covey. First pitch to Hawley. Takes a strike inside. So the Oaks in their 5-game winning streak have defeated the Arroyo Seco Saints 3 times, and then the Philippines baseball group on Friday and the San Diego Wave yesterday. The 0-1 pitch to Hawley. Swung on to right field. Back goes Hunsaker to make the play, as Daniewicz tags on, is going to advance to third base. So Hawley does his job, moves a runner, now puts Daniewicz just 90 feet away from getting the first run of this game, but that leads way to Nolan Johnson playing at first base today. Saw him behind the dish for the Oaks yesterday. He's batting .289 with 9 runs, 13 hits. Has 2 RBIs, both which he picked up yesterday. Had quite the game. It was 1 for 2 with a run, as well as a triple. First pitch to Johnson. Looks at one outside and low. So it's now runners at the corners here for the Oaks with 2 outs. Nolan Johnson trying to bring in some Oaks to take the first lead of the game.
It's been a very solid bat for the Oaks this season.
1-0. Drives that straight into the glove of Jake Landman, the shortstop, and that's going to be the 3rd out. So Jake Covey, after allowing 1 hit, retires the next 2 batters and is able to get out unscathed. We head to the top of the 2nd inning. Still no score. Up to the plate first to begin the 2nd inning is Reed Montgomery, the sophomore from Long Beach State. The left-hander getting things started for the Riptide as last inning. Riptide left 2 stranded after Jake Evans was hit by a pitch and Isaac Cadena was walked. As Gabe Howard now enters his 2nd inning of action, and the Oaks and Riptide facing off for the first of a 3-game series, as that's hit straight back. The 3 games 2 of them will take place here at George Sparky Anderson Field, as they have a road game sandwiched between those 2 home games on Tuesday at 5 o'clock at Great Park. And then back here Wednesday for a 4:30 game to finish out the series. The 0-1 pitch. That's driven foul off to the right. Reed Montgomery this season batting .278 with 11 runs and 20 hits. 4 of those have gone for doubles. He has 1 home run on the season, second best on the team. It's now an 0-2 pitch here to Montgomery. The payoff from Howard. Just upstairs and outside for a ball. It's now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, following the series against the Oaks, the Riptide will face the Saints and the Blues.
The 1-2 pitch. It's fouled straight back over the field of play as it remains a 1-2 count here. Well, the Oaks were on a 4-game winning streak back on June 24th to June 28th, and actually their 4-game winning streak was snapped by the Orange County Riptide in a 11-3 loss at Great Park, as that's driven to the right field. It's a fly ball. It's going to go foul.
Yeah, there must be something about Great Park that just hasn't been in favor of the Oaks. I mean, the Oaks have seen a 14-3 loss and an 11-3 loss, both at Great Park, and Oaks hosted the Riptide of Ventura County, won in walk-off fashion.
Chance to even the season series here. The 1-2 pitch outside for a ball. Counts now 2-2 as Montgomery stays patient and fights back into the count. Yeah, in those 2 games, just outscored 25-6. Nothing was really working. I mean, pitching for the Riptide gave lots of struggles to Oaks batters, and then defensively, just too many errors. The 2-2 pitch just hits the outside corner for a strike. It's strikeout number 3 for Gabe Howard to begin the 2nd inning.
Yeah, Howard just froze Montgomery there with that outside fastball.
It's the first strikeout today that he's got a batter looking. Now brings up Zach Crandall, the designated hitter today for the Orange County Riptide, who's batting .208 on the season with 11 runs and 10 hits. 3 of those gone for doubles. So now 1 out. First pitch here from Howard as it's a fastball right over the plate. Zach Crandall, also a catcher for the Orange County Riptide, a senior from UC Irvine. Spent the past season, 2025, batting .327 for the Anteaters. The 0-1, that's fouled into the glove of Landon West. Now down on the count 0-2.
Yeah, interesting to see the dynamic. Landon West behind the plate and gives Jacob Galloway some time in left field.
The payoff pitch here from Howard. Outside for a ball as Crandall doesn't chase. So the current rankings in the California Collegiate League would be the Santa Barbara Forcers at 23-9, currently on a 3-game winning streak. The Conejo Oaks at 22-9. Orange County Riptide at 18-12. And the Saints at 14-15 is your top 4 positions. And it's the top 3 teams in the South Division that do make the playoffs, with the number 1 seed getting the bye, as the Santa Barbara Foresters do not play in CCL's playoffs. The payoff from Howard. Swing and a miss as he chases downstairs. It's back-to-back Ks to begin the 2nd inning. And Howard feeling himself on the mound.
Yeah, Gabe Howard, he's settled in nicely into this one. Had a couple first-inning obstacles, hitting a batter and walking one, but he is looking to feel himself this inning.
It's now Riley Hunsaker, the junior at California Baptist University, with 2 outs now, as that's low and inside for a ball. Hunsaker this season batting .172, originally from Citrus Valley High School, and decorated high school player, 2nd team all CBL as a freshman. The 1-0 pitch is low for another ball. Counts now 2 balls, no strikes. For Gabe Howard, a sophomore at Oregon University. one of 3 players on the Oaks playing for the Ducks next season. The 2-0 is low again for another ball as West tries his best to frame up into the strike zone, but it's now a 3-0 count here to Hunsaker, who's working with 2 outs, trying to keep the Riptide flowing in this second inning. So the 3-0 pitch now to Crandall. It's low in the dirt for another ball. It's a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs. So it brings back the bottom of the order, Jake Lambden, the shortstop today, batting .244 on the season. The sophomore from Xavier University, spending his first summer with the Orange County Riptides. 2024 was with the Kokomo Jackrabbits in the Northwoods League. That was all the way in Indiana. So here in sunny Southern California to spend his summer, and has 11 runs and 10 hits. So 2 outs now, 1 on for the Riptide. Swung on, that's fouled straight back. It's now an 0-1 count.
Jake Lambden, rising sophomore at Duke University. He's played in, this is his 12th game of the season. First appeared on July 2nd.
So now the 0-1 pitch here to Lambden. Swing and a miss. Nasty cutter right there from Gabe Howard to get Lambden to chase outside and low. So a chance here for Howard to get out of this inning once again unscathed. The 0-2 pitch. And they're going to say he pulled back and checked his swing. Gabe Howard was just about ready to dance his way to the dugout and get after yet another strikeout, but Jake Lambden holds back.
He went about as far as he could without committing.
So now a 1-2 count here to Lambden. 2 outs, 1 on. Howard trying to get out of another inning. Here comes the payoff pitch. Off goes a runner as that's chopped to third base. Holly gets just a reach on it. The throw is in time to first. Beautiful defensive play by Holly as it retires another batter, and we head to the bottom of the second inning as the Oaks will try to get some runs themselves. We'll be right back. Back here at George Sparky Anderson Field, as it's still no score between the Riptide and the Oaks as these two teams face off for the first of a 3-game series, and it's Devin Wilkes to get things started at the plate. Up for his first appearance today, batting .337 this summer with a team leading 29 hits and 2 home runs as he takes a strike on the outside corner. And Wilkes, one of the younger players for the Oaks this summer, but still one of the more important players, or just one of the stronger players, as he drives one into right field, and it's just going to veer foul. Didn't just have enough power there to get over the fence. And you know, it's interesting right there is kind of Wilkes, the way he swung that bat. He kind of let go and didn't follow through with both hands. You know, talking to Joe Garcia just yesterday, he said that's one thing he really wants to work on with some of these players, as that one's this time poked into left field. Back goes Navarro, is able to make the play. Oh no, he drops it right out of his glove. And Wilkes slides into second. So now you see me, now you don't was the type of play for Navarro, as it just drops out of his glove.
Yeah, Navarro was running back to get that, and I think his feet were just too much off balance there. You saw him backtrack and get kind of flustered at the last second and hit right off of his glove, but his footing was not set properly, and so he couldn't hang on to the baseball.
So now the first defensive error of the day for the Riptide. Now brings up Landon West, who's now working with no outs and a runner on. He takes a strike just on the outside corner. Yeah, West this season has really come in and been a very strong bat. Just in the month of July that he joined the Oaks, was an all-star alternative in the CCL Showcase game. It's now an 0-1 count. He fouls that one off to the right. We're just kind of finishing up on that thought with Joe Garcia. Just talking with him, you know, he talked a lot about kind of the follow-through of a batter and wanting to have both hands on the bat even through your whole entire swing. Said that's something, you know, he sees it a lot in young guys and just trying to train this summer not to do, as that one's driven right past the second baseman Johnson. It's going to drop for a base hit into center field. As an error and a base hit now has runners at the corners for the Oaks, and a real opportunity here for Zach Moore as he steps up to the plate.
Yeah, big opportunity for the Oaks, and certainly a chance to capitalize on the error. Instead of just a runner at first with one out, you got first and third with nobody out.
So now with Zach Moore, who's playing shortstop today, he's really filled in nicely at the shortstop position. Kind of now being the everyday man between second and third base. First pitch here to Moore. Fouls that straight back. This season batting .203 with 9 runs and 12 hits. A redshirt sophomore from Westmont College, where he batted .270 past season with 24 hits. Was a league MVP back in his high school days at Grace Brethren High School. Now an 0-1 count to Mora. Just takes a strike inside. No balls, 2 strikes here for Moore, as the Oaks in some prime position right here to get the first few runs of the day. But it's a payoff pitch from Covey, as Moore is just able to foul that off to the left. Goes down low to keep himself alive.
Yeah, Zach Mora, he's got certainly a good bat for the Oaks as we've seen this season. Had a hit yesterday against the Waves.
Yeah, it was also flashing the leather multiple times at shortstop. The 0-2 pitch. That one's driven into center field as it's going to drop for a base hit. Home comes Wilkes, and the Oaks with the first lead of the day, 1-0.
Oaks make the Riptide pay for the error and have a chance to score some extra runs as well, as you see Cadena going out to talk to Covey.
And with an early conversation like that, you know, just nothing but trying to let your pitcher know it's okay, it's just 1 run. Still plenty of baseball to play here. And if it's anything like that game in Ventura College back on June 28th, it was a lot of fireworks and a lot of excitement that even led us to extra innings. So now 2 on, no outs here as it leads the bottom of the order. Cade Falskin right now shows bunt. He's going to stay with it, pulls back, takes a ball inside, counts now 1-0. Well, Cade Falskin this summer batting .175, just recently committed to Cal Poly Slow, playing for the Mustangs now after no appearances in 2025 for Oregon State. Shows bunt again. This one is going to drop right towards the mound as Covey gets under it. He's going to get the throw in time to first base. So Falskin doing his job, playing team baseball right there, advances the runners as it's now 1 down for the Riptide.
Great execution by Falskin, able to move both runners into scoring position. Covey realizing that he has just 1 play at first.
But leads away to Tommy Kendlinger, back to the top of the order for the Oaks, as now runners at second and third base is Zach Moore and Landon West. The first pitch to Kendlinger is a swing and a miss. He chases the high cheese upstairs. Well, Kendlinger grounded out to third base, his first plate appearance today. Working on a 2-game hitting streak. Entering today's matchup, the 0-1 pitch. Kendlinger pokes that one into right field, and Landon West is going to tap on. He's going to head home. Zach Moore heading for third. The throw is not going to be timed in third as it's dropped out of the glove of Evans. And yet another run scores for the Oaks. It's now a 2-0 lead here in the second inning.
Kendlinger able to get that fly ball deep enough out to right field as Riley Hunsaker's able to make the catch. It's plenty deep enough to score Landon West as Kendlinger gets it out there, and Moore able to advance to third.
It's now Lucas Daniewicz at the plate, 1 for 1 today. Looks at the ball low and outside. So the Oaks not done yet here in the second inning with Zach Moore at third base. Looks like Daniewicz could add more to this lead of already 2-0 versus the Orange County Riptide. The 1-0 pitch to Daniewicz. This time hits the outside corner for a strike. Now a 1-1 count with Jacob Galloway due up next. And this is certainly a team that the Oaks are going to want to get the bats going. The 1-1. Daniewicz grounds that to second base as Johnson gets under it. His throw is in time to first, and that'll end the second inning, but not before the Oaks add 2 runs. We head to the top of the third inning. The Riptide will look to respond. It's 2-0 Oaks as we head to the third inning here. The Riptide in the top of the order. Bradley Navarro will try to get things started offensively for themselves. Well, it was all thanks to the error to get things started as Devin Wilkes hit one out into left field, and Navarro just couldn't keep his grasp on the ball. It dropped, allowed Devin Wilkes to advance to second base, and from there the Oaks took advantage, scored 2 runs off an RBI from Zach Moore and a sacrifice fly from Tommy Kendlinger that hits the outside corner for a strike. Now 0-1 to Bradley Navarro, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. He was on a 5-game hitting streak before entering yesterday's matchup and was held hitless versus the Saints. So an 0-1 count here to Navarro. Looks at one in the dirt. And he has been one of the strong players for the Riptide with a team-leading .396 batting average, 20 runs, and 36 hits. Just for reference, the next guy has 25 hits on the Riptide, so that is 11 hit difference as Navarro tries to will the Riptide here in the third inning. Now a 1-1 pitch. Howard deals. That one's grounded just foul off to the right. So up to a 1-2 count here as Gabe Howard begins his Third inning of action. It's his first time this season facing off against the Riptide. But for Navarro, he's seen the Oaks already a few times. So 1-2 pitch, the payoff. Just outside for a ball. It's now a 2-2 count. So the Oaks looking to try to extend what is a 5-game winning streak right now into Week 8 of the California Collegiate League, and the Riptide looking to play spoiler. The 2-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. As Navarro fights back into this count, it's now up to a full count. Well, certainly every game is going to matter. I mean, it is currently a 4-game difference between these two teams, but every win, especially with 3-game series, payoff from Howard. It's going to stay fair. It's an oop swing as Wes gets over to it. His throw is not going to be in time as it drops out of the glove of Nolan Johnson.
Yeah, the throw was in time, but Johnson, for whatever reason, could not hang on to the baseball. Had he held on, he would have been out. So Oaks with an error of their own. And like I said at the beginning, it's really these fundamental mistakes that are going to be more costly than, say, allowing a home run or a big hit.
Well, the Riptide will look to do the same what the Oaks did last inning and taking advantage of the defensive errors, as it's now Jake Evans at the plate. Was hit by a pitch the first time and was clearly in some good pain. As first pitch he looks at inside. It took him a little bit of time as he was met by two of the coaches for the Riptide as they tended to him, Zach Thomas and Bradley Evans. Now a 1-0 count here to Jake Evans. 1 on for the Riptide. Evans shoots that into right field. Back goes Daniewicz to the wall. That ball is going to hit against the wall. Daniewicz plays it on the hop. Turning for home is Bradley Navarro, and he's going to head there with no throw. As he goes from first to home. Great base running there, and the Riptide have tied it at 1, or have now cut down to the lead to 2-1.
Well, the Oaks made the Riptide pay for an error in the bottom of the second, and the Riptide returned the favor as, following the drop ball by Johnson, Jake Evans drives the ball to the gap in right center field, and Navarro, with his speed, flies around the bases to score.
Yeah, that would be the 21st run of the season for Bradley Navarro. Now the 5th RBI for Jake Evans this season. Now it brings the third batter in the order, Isaac Cadena, who was walked his first time, was left stranded in that first inning. Now a 2-1 ball game. Sets in the dirt and outside for a ball. So the Riptide just taking it 1 run at a time as...
And that's the first hit the Riptide has gotten today.
And it's a double for Jake Evans. The 1-0 pitch here to Cadena. Takes a strike outside. Now 1 ball, 1 strike. So no outs, 1 on. The Riptide looking to do more damage here in the top of the 3rd inning. The 1-1 pitch here. That's short chopper foul off to the right. It's now up to a 1-2 count as Howard allowed his first hit of the day. It's now the 9th hit he's allowed this season. The 6th run, the 3rd being earned. Jake Evans on the bags has 3 stolen bases. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Cadena for the 5th strikeout of the day for Gabe Howard. And a much needed one after back-to-back great offensive plays from the Riptide.
Yeah, and great pitch sequence again by Gabe Howard as got Cadena to chase at that low changeup that just dropped low.
So leads away to Carter Dans, who was the 2nd strikeout victim of the day by Gabe Howard. Yeah, Carter Dan's kind of filling up the stats on all parts for the Riptide. Hitless today, though. First pitch. Fastball inside as Dans has to duck away and takes a ball.
Yeah, we saw Carter Dan's pitch against the Oaks previously, so has that experience as a two-way player.
Now 1 out, 1 on for the Riptide. The 1-0 pitch to Carter Dans. Takes a strike in the upper part of the zone. It's now 1 ball, 1 strike. Riptide, one of kind of the newer founded summer collegiate teams we've seen. Founded just in 2015. Have spent all 10 years in the California Collegiate League. One-time champions back in 2017. Now the 1-1 pitch here to Dans. Fouls that straight to the backstop. It's now a 1-2 count. Howard tries to go through another inning of leaving base runner stranded. It's the first season that Brian Evans has been a head coach for the Riptide. Spent 2023 and 2024 as a pitching coach. Took over for Connor Spencer. Now the 1-2 pitch here to Carter Dans. Lifts a fly ball out into foul territory off to left. Hawley tries his best to go over, and he does make the play just at the wall. A great play by the third baseman to stay focused and get the out. It's now 2 down for the Oaks.
Yeah, nice play by Hawley out there in foul territory as he had barely just enough room to make the catch.
Yeah, looking straight pretty much up at the sun. I mean, sunglasses obviously helping, but especially with a high hit ball like that by Dans, ball can sometimes get lost. Now Luke brings Luke Johnson, as Gabe Howard just allowed 1 run so far this inning, but still 1 on. First pitch here to Johnson, 0 for 1 today. Looks at a strike on the inside, and off speed change up there from Howard gets the strike. Brian Evans also played baseball and a career at UC Davis. Was drafted to the MLB by the Florida Marlins back in 2008. It's now an 0-1 count to Johnson as he fouls that straight to the backstop. Evans is also currently a pitching coach for Golden West College. He was in the dugout for the California Collegiate League Showcase game alongside Bill Pintard, Ken Landro, and Coach David Solis, and Saints skipper Aaron Milam. So quite a talented coaching staff for the South Division that got the win 8-5 on Wednesday. But it's now an 0-2 count here to Johnston. And the payoff pitch from Howard. That time inside for a ball as Johnson staying patient.
Yeah, we saw a very talented coaching staff in the CCL South dugout and heard conversations on the broadcast with Aaron Milam and Bill Pintard.
Yeah, Bill Pintard, one of the legends of Santa Barbara baseball and just really Southern California baseball. Now 1-2 pitch here to Johnson. It's a hit, fly ball out into left field. Galloway goes back as he's going to play it on the wall, and it's just going to drop, and home comes Jake Evans as into third is out. A great play there to get the third out as the throw was just in time. So the Oaks still allow 2 runs in this third inning, but leave no more left. We head to the bottom of the third. It's now a tie ball game, 2-2. It's a tie ball game as we head to the bottom of the third inning. The Riptide responded with 2 runs themselves. But after a gamble that Luke Johnson ran on his double, tried to go for 3, but just a throw from outfield got there in time. As it's now Jacob Galloway comes to the plate for the second time today. He walked his first plate appearance as he takes a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, Galloway, you saw him run to that ball in left field and looked like he kind of got turned around as that ball got twisted. And you're saying up here that we thought that ball should have been out of here. And a great relay by the Oaks to get Luke Johnson out at third. A very quick tag on the throw by Tyler Hawley.
Holloway pushes a fly ball out into left field. Up comes Navarro to make the play, and he is able to get as he topples over his shortstop, Jake Lambden.
And let's hope Lambden's okay.
Yeah, that was a scary fall as he just kind of slid under the legs of Navarro, and he's now up and looks to be good. So that gets the out as now leads way to Tyler Hawley, who is 0 for 1 today. Hawley batting .281 on the season with 20 runs and 27 hits. Has him second on the team in both of those statistical categories. The first pitch, it's outside for a ball. Well, the Oaks will look to try to respond here in the third inning as after allowing 2 runs in the top of the third, now has a tie ball game. Another ball outside. Counts now 2-0. Well, the Oaks on the verge of being #1 seed once again in the California Collegiate League. Have to get through these 6 games as it's another ball outside. The Oaks, the reigning 2024 California Collegiate League champions, looking to defend the title. Hawley takes a strike on the outside. Counts now 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. As Hawley just fouls that into the dirt. Counts now up to full.
Yeah, Tyler Hawley, seen him flash both his bat and the leather at third base.
3-2. Hawley fouls that straight off. Catcher Isaac Cadena. So the Oaks and Riptide meeting for the 4th time this season. It's the second home game that the Oaks have hosted, and the first, I would say, official home game at George Sparky Anderson Field, the other home game being at Ventura College. It's the only team that has more, as that's down for a ball 4, so it's a 1-out walk for Tyler Hawley as he gets on the bags. For the first time today, leads way to Nolan Johnson. Playing at first base today. He responsible for the 1 defensive error of the day. It was a throw by Landon West that just got out of his glove and wasn't able to maintain or secure possession. So now 1 out, 1 on. The first pitch to Nolan Johnson. Fouls that one straight back. Just recently committed to Duke. They're spending a freshman season at Miami University. So he stays within conference in the ACC, just changing up the team colors. It's now an 0-1 count here to Johnson. Looks at a strike on the outside corner this time.
Yeah, Johnson had a couple of hits yesterday, including a triple to right center field.
The 0-2 pitch here to Johnson. Looks at a ball low, just below his knees. Inside for now a 1-2 count. Nolan Johnson played his high school ball at Westlake High School. Won a league title in 2024, was a 4-time All-County selection, All-League first-team pick. Johnson looks at another ball outside. Played alongside his twin brother, Nate Johnson, who's also an Oaks player. Has not made any appearances since middle June after going down with a shoulder injury to his left shoulder. Still question marks if he will return this season. But now a payoff pitch from Covey, as that's grounded right past first baseman Dans for a base hit. Holly turns it for 2, and he's headed for 3, and he's going to get there safely, as it's a single right there from Nolan Johnson. Now runners at the corner for the Oaks.
Yeah, Johnson just slapped that ball right through into right field. Nothing Dans could do to stop that one. Oaks with another threat and a chance to take the lead with Wilkes.
So with Wilkes stepping up to the plate, 0 for 1 today, reached on an error out in left field. Looks at a strike on the outside corner. He was eventually brought home on the RBI single from Zach Moore to get the first run of a 2-run second inning. It's a 1-0 count to Wilkes. Hits a fly ball out to left foul territory as third baseman Jake Evans gets over and is able to make the play. So it gets the second out of the inning.
That's a big out for the Riptide there, with Wilkes not being able to advance Holly with less than 2 outs. Prevent a run in that situation, and now puts more pressure on Landon West. His best options to score or to get a base hit, or if he's lucky enough to see a wild pitch or a pass ball.
Landon West 1 for 1 today with a run. First pitch pops that high into the infield as Jake Evans calls everyone off and is able to make the play, just veering off to his left. So that's the third out. So after a walk and a single by Nolan Johnson, Oaks are not able to do anything more and leave 2 stranded. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Tie ball game, 2-2. Back in action here to get the 4th inning started, as it's a tie ball game, 2-2. The Oaks jumped out first with a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the Riptide responded with 2 of their own in the top of the 3rd. As it's Reed Montgomery first, the left-hander. First pitch, swing and a miss. Gabe Howard now begins his 4th inning of action as the bottom just dropped out of that ball right there.
Yeah, Howard's been executing that pitches consistently with 2 strikes on the batters.
The 0-1 to Montgomery. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikes now has it as an 0-2 count here for Montgomery, who's already struck out 1 time today. He struck out looking last time. Down on the count here. The payoff pitch from Howard. High and upstairs for a ball. Counts now 1-2. Montgomery originally from Capistrano Valley High School. Missed his freshman year due to COVID, but his sophomore year helped the team win the South Coast League. It's a swing and a miss. It's the second time Montgomery has gone down via the K. And it's now 6 strikeouts on the day for Gabe Howard.
Yeah, Howard he's been dealing strong against the Riptide. A couple of runs to his name, but he's been pitching really well. One unearned run as well.
It's now Zach Crandall who looks at a strike on the lower half of the zone. Crandall, another strikeout victim already of Gabe Howard's, as he's now collecting those like infinity stones. So the 0-1 pitch here to Crandall. Fouls that straight back. Now down on the count, 0-2.
Yeah, the Riptide. You know, we mentioned how important these games are for these teams in the Riptide. They have an opportunity to finish stronger than ever.
The 0-2 pitch. The Noop swing goes foul off to the right. Count remains 0-2. Crandall now playing for his 3rd team in his college career. Spent 2024 at Utah, 2023 at Orange Coast College. Now a UCI. The 0-2 pitch. That one's just veers to the right outside for a ball. It's now a 1-2 count. Similar count that we saw Reed Montgomery just seconds ago strike out on. Zach Crandall doesn't become a baseball player. He either wants to be a hitting coach or a firefighter. Giving back to the community in one way or another. The 1-2. Upstairs for another ball.
You could certainly do both. No two things are impossible together.
He won a CIF championship in high school back in 2019. It's now a 2-2 pitch here. The payoff from Howard. Just upstairs for a ball. It's now up to a full count, as West thought he did his best framing job right there to bring it into the strike zone.
Well, no framing job can lie against a ball that was low.
The 3-2. That time upstairs for a ball. It's Crandall fights back in the count and gets the 1-out walk to go. Now brings up Riley Hunsaker.
Well, the Orange County Riptide has seen one CCL championship title. That was in 2017. That was when the Riptide went 33-11, and they never lost by more than 3 runs that season, which earned them the nickname the Dream Team. They've appeared in the CCL playoffs in 7 out of the last 8 seasons.
Hunsaker takes a strike on the outside.
Hunsaker drew a walk his first time up back in the 2nd inning.
It's 1 out, 1 on for the Riptide. The 0-1 pitch to Hunsaker. He goes around, and it's now strike 2 on the right fielder.
Well, there's another example of Howard fooling the batters with those bottom dropping breakers. Gets him to swing at one that bounced in the dirt. So
the 0-2 pitch here from Howard. looking for his 7th strikeout on the day. 0-2. It's inside. It gets past Landon West as Reed Montgomery is going to, or Zach Crandall is going to advance to second base off a pass ball. And talking about that 2017 Dream Team for the Orange County Riptide, 4 of their 5 MLB alumni were part of that team. And recently they just had a player on their roster this year, a pitcher, Trey Seeley, a right-handed pitcher, get drafted by the Giants in round 14, pick 416. It's a 1-2 pitch here to Hunsaker. It's in the dirt for a ball.
Yeah, Trey Seeley's the current player who got drafted, but also 2 alumni recently got drafted, including right-handed pitcher Riley Kelly, an alumni from the 24 season. 107th overall pick in the 4th round by the Rockies, and Ben Jacobs, a left-handed pitcher from the 2023 season, 98th overall pick in the 3rd round by the Tigers.
So 2 alumni, a 2-2 score here, a 2-2 count. The payoff. It's a high fly ball out to the left. Count remains 2-2. And for the Oaks, they also had 2 guys get drafted in the 2025 MLB draft. Zach Doddett and Anson Arose. Arose, a 19th round pick by the Los Angeles Dodgers, pick 585, and Doddett, round 10, pick 306 by the Houston Astros. So now 2 rivals that were once teammates. That's shot down the left field, and it's going to drop for a base hit as it advances Zach Crandall to third base, and the Riptide knocking on the door once again, trying to take the first lead of the game.
Yeah, they've certainly got a chance here as they rally against the Oaks. Got a huge opportunity to do what the Oaks were unable to do in the bottom of the 3rd, and that is score with a runner in scoring position and less than 2 outs.
So Gabe Howard has allowed a walk and a single, and back-to-back at-bats now leads the bottom of the order. Jack Lambden up to bat. He is 0 for 1 today, grounded out to third base. First pitch here to Lambden. Off goes Hunsaker as the throw just gets over the head of Falskin, but Zach Moore is there to retrieve it and not let it go into center field. A heads-up play by the shortstop.
Well, stolen base for Hunsaker, but it's interesting to see the Oaks did not do that play where in this case the shortstop Mora would charge in on the throw to second to try to deke Crandall into coming home.
Now the second stolen base on the season for Riley Hunsaker as the infield is all the way in. The 0-1 to Lambden. Takes another strike on the outside and low.
Yeah, infield anticipating that ground ball to get the out at the plate. That's something that the Oaks, we've seen them fall for that a few times offensively.
Well, if Lambden is able to put it anywhere in the blank space between inner field and the outfield, it would bring home at least 1 runner for the Riptide. But right now, an 0-2 pitch. The payoff. That one outside for a ball. Well, Zach Doddett, the player from Cal Poly SLO, who was drafted by the Houston Astros, spent 2022 and 2023 with the Oaks, and Anson Arose played in 2021 for the Oaks. Arose played at Oregon from 2022 to 2025. The 1-2. That's in the dirt for a ball. Counts now even at 2 apiece. And in fact, Anson Arose was actually part of the California Collegiate League Showcase game back in 2021 for the Oaks. Just adding to the MLB alumni that the Oaks have produced, as well as the Riptide. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss as Lambden chases the outside cutter. And Howard, with his 7th strikeout of the day, is a big one.
Yeah, huge out for the Oaks, and it's gotta feel pretty good after they were unable to score in their bottom of the 3rd inning after putting runners at the corners and 1 out, and they have a chance to finish off the Riptide, as Howard could still get out of this inning unscathed.
So 2 outs, 2 on now. Runners are Riley Hunsaker and Zach Crandall. It's back to the top of the order, Bradley Navarro. 0 for 2 today. The first pitch. Swing and a miss from Navarro. Well, Navarro has a defensive error and has reached on an error. Brought home by Jake Evans on the RBI double. Back in the 3rd inning. It's down 0-1 count to Navarro as Howard tries to stop the bleeding here in the 4th inning. At this time outside for a ball. Counts now 1-1. Navarro with 11 RBIs on the season. The 1-1 pitch from Howard. Just downside for another ball as Navarro trying to stay patient here.
Patience is key in a situation like this. Pick out the wrong pitch, you could walk back to the dugout with regrets.
The 2-1 pitch from Howard. That one's lined into center field as Kendlinger with the diving grab. Plays Superman for a play to get the Oaks out of an inning where they allowed a walk and a single. Gabe Howard certainly going to give his center fielder lots of praise right there as the Oaks and the Riptide, we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still 2-2. Well, after a Tommy Kendlinger game-changing play out in center field, it's still a 2-2 ball game. As Zach Mora, the 8th man in the batting order today for the Oaks, up first, with Cade Falskin due up next, and Jake Covey, now in his 4th inning of action, is swinging a miss from Moore as he chases a cutter outside. Well, I don't want to say it's business as usual because those plays are certainly impressive, but man, Tommy Kendlinger, he's made quite a few of those this season.
And he really did look like Superman out there in center field. Oh, well-timed cultural reference there. And yeah, I mean, he came all the way in. I thought for sure that ball was going to drop, but he proved wrong. He proved me wrong.
Mora looks at one outside. Yeah, not all heroes wear capes, as the saying goes. It's now a 1-2 count here to Zach Mora, who hits a fly ball out into center field as Montgomery backs up from his post and gets the out. So 1 down for the Riptide as the Oaks will try to work off that great defensive outing right there and try to score some runs themselves. And on the flip side, the Orange County Riptide certainly kicking themselves in a situation where they had 2 guys on, just 1 out. not something you really want to have, especially in just a series. I'll say a 3-game series like this where every game's going to be important, just especially for the Riptide, knowing that pretty much to get that first place, they're going to have to beat the Oaks at least 2 out of the 3 games, if not all 3. As Falskin looks at a ball outside. So a 2-2 ball game here as it's a 1-0 pitch to Falskin. Looks at one low.
Yeah,
it's now 2-0.
Orange County Riptide currently 5 games behind, or 4 games behind the Oaks. So each of these games are equally as important for both teams.
Falskin takes a strike on the outside, and sort of a gift right there from the home plate umpire, as Cade Falskin not really in love with that call. But a 2 balls, 1 strike situation here for Cade Falskin, working with 1 out. Falskin hits a fly ball foul off to the left. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes, as the Oaks have just 2 runs on the day in that 2nd inning. Both the Riptide and Oaks have already traded a few blows. That's outside. Not as many blows as that Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway fight yesterday. That was, man.
Ugh. Yeah, that was pretty wild.
So it's now up to a full count for Cade Falskin. It's Coach David Solis now having conversations with the third base umpire. So Cade Falskin will step out the back. So now Brian Evans as well is going to come to meet with the home plate umpire.
Yeah, it looks like both head coaches just had some remarks or clarifications there.
Coach David Solis says it's a 2-2, but we are being told by our statistician Colin, who does an excellent job over there, saying it is a full count, but I guess Coach David Solis got some magic. It's a 2-2 count as Cade Falskin swing and a miss, so it don't matter. As the first strikeout of the day for Jake Covey comes in the 4th inning.
Yeah, good job for Jake Covey to be able to get back in there quickly following the slight delay with the discussion. The strikeout Falskin brings back the top of the order with Kendlinger.
Well, ball don't lie. The 2 outs now to Tommy Kendlinger as he looks at 1 outside. So 1-0 here to Kendlinger. Covey deals. And the ball outside as Jake Covey playing for now his 3rd collegiate team. 2-0. That one's fouled off to the right.
Yeah, we've seen Jake Covey historically in collegiate summer ball. He's played for a number of leagues.
Kendlinger fouls that off to the right. He also played basketball and baseball in high school at Estancia High School. He was named Pitcher of the Year in 2018. He was actually named MVP in basketball in 2019. The 2-2 pitch. Outside for a ball.
Also played for the SoCal Birds, a club baseball team.
So lots of experience on the mound for the Orange County Riptide. It's a 3-2 pitch here to Kendlinger. Swung on. That's going to be a fly ball out into center field as Montgomery camps under and gets the 3rd out of the inning. So 1-2-3 inning for Jake Covey as we head to the 5th inning. Still tie ball game, 2-2. And it's a pitching change for the Canucks to begin the 5th inning as Xander Allen Fox takes the mound as Gabe Howard's day is over. And Gabe Howard, an effective 4 innings, 2 runs, 1 of those being earned. Total of 7 strikeouts. So now leads way to Xander Allen Fox, making his first appearance in 10 days. First pitch is a strike to Jake Evans. Xander Allen Fox, we last saw him July 10th versus the San Francisco Seagulls. Went 1 inning and 3 batters he faced. Did not allow a hit or a walk. No runs either. Swing and a miss from Jake Evans as he chases one outside. Xander Allen Fox this season with an 8.67 ERA. Has 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 13 hits allowed.
Evans had a big 2 RBI double his last time up.
That one's in the dirt for a ball. So a pretty quick bottom of the 4th inning as Jake Covey pitched his best half inning thus far. A 1-2-3 inning to allow nothing for the Oaks. The payoff from Allen Fox. Inside off-speed pitch that just grazes past the knees of Jake Evans. It's now up to a 2-2 count. Another payoff here. It's a short pop fly into the right side of the infield as Nolan Johnson gets under it. 1 down for the Oaks.
Xander Allen Fox, he's allowed 12 total runs this season, and 9 of those have been earned.
It's now Isaac Cadena, who is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk. Xander Allen Fox, one of 2 players on this Oaks roster from Grossmont College, alongside his teammate in college, Anthony Thomas. First pitch. It's low for a ball. Counts 1-0 in 2025 for Grossmont College. He appeared in 7 games. 3 of those he started with a 3-1 record and 24 innings total pitched, 24 2/3. The 1-0 pitch. It's a soft chopper to second base. Folsom gets under his throw in time. 2 down for the Oaks.
A quick 2 outs for Xander Allen Fox as he makes his 9th appearance of the season. It's been a pretty consistent left-hander for the Oaks.
He missed half the season for Grossmont College after he suffered elbow tendonitis. Now Carter Dan's at the plate. Looks at a strike. And the inside. It's an 0-1 count to Carter Dans, who is 0 for 2 today. Has struck out and grounded out. 0-1. Looks at another strike, this time on the outside corner as Xander Allen Fox painting all parts of that strike zone thus far. The payoff from Allen Fox. And it freezes Carter Dance for strike 3, the first K of the day for Xander Allen Fox as he has a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Still tie ball game, 2-2. Back in action at George Sparky Anderson Field as we take a second to thank our sponsor, Pizza Man Dan's out in Ventura County. 6 different locations. Get your hot pie now as Lucas Danuitz 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a ground out. Well, it's been the game we expected as it's a tie ball game, 2-2. As Dan's on the first pitch, grounds that to shortstop, and on the run is a throw from Jake Lambden in time for the out.
Nice range there by Lambden as he hustled over to his left to snag that ball from going up the middle.
So it brings up Jacob Galloway now with working through 1 out as he is 0 for 1 today. Popped out to left field and walked back in the first inning. It's really been the bottom of the order thus far for the Oaks that has provided a lot of the offensive power thus far. Galloway looks at a ball low. Due up next, Tyler Hawley, also 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. 2 guys the Oaks certainly want to get started here. The 1-0. Galloway looks at one outside this time. Count now 2-0.
Galloway drew a walk in the first inning.
So Jake Covey now beginning 5th inning of action here. It's another ball outside up to a 3-0 count. And Galloway is one of those players that, I mean, he's been in college for some time now, playing 2 years at USC, Texas A&M. He's not always going to chase. That time he looks at a strike outside. So 3-1 count here to Galloway. And looks at a ball upstairs for ball 4, and it'll be a 1-out walk for Jacob Galloway. He gets on the bags for a second time today, both via a free pass. So now leads Tyler Hawley to the plate. Similar position, 0 for 1 today with a walk.
Yeah, the Oaks and Riptide have both been able to escape innings defensively where offensive team had a chance to score with less than 2 outs. You saw Hawley walk and then move to third on a single by Johnson back in the 3rd inning, and this time the Oaks are looking to take the lead over the Riptide.
First pitch, Hawley fouls off to the right. It's an 0-1 count here. So the Oaks and Riptide battling for the 4th time this season. This one's lining up to be a good one as it's 2-2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. An 0-1 count to Hawley. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Now down in the count quickly. 0-2 is Nolan Johnson due up next. So the payoff pitch here from Jake Covey. That one's driven just foul off to the right.
Tyler Hawley leading the Oaks in both home runs and RBIs on the season. He's got 4 home runs.
Has really had a strong July for the Oaks. Working on a 6-game hitting streak right now. 1 out, 1 on. The 0-2 pitch to Hawley. Swing and a miss. As Covey gets him to chase outside for his 2nd strikeout of the day.
Yeah, that ball had a little bit of English on it. Looked like it sort of started a little more outside to where it was, and then it curved slightly back in.
So Nolan Johnson now at the plate. 1 for 2. First pitch is a ground ball to shortstop. A backhanded play by Lambden. The throw is in time.
Oh, what a play.
A terrific play by the shortstop to get out of the inning and leave 1 base runner stranded for the Oaks. We head to the 6th. Still tie ball game, 2-2. 5 innings through, and it's a 2-2 ball game. As the Oaks and Riptide facing off, beginning a 3-game series here as we enter the final game of the Week 7 slate. As it's an outside for a ball, as Xander Allen Fox begins his second inning of action here. It was a 1-2-3 inning last time he was on the mound. That time inside for a ball, as it's now Luke Johnson at the plate, who's 1 for 2 today. And have to give props to Jake Lambden, who at shortstop made a terrific play on the run, pretty much to get the out. It was a stunning play by the shortstop, as it's now a 2-1 count here.
Yeah, he was moving to his right, so his momentum was taking him away from the first base bag and just jumped to make the throw, almost like a Jeter play.
Now a 2-1 count here to Luke Johnson. Chops that to second base as Falskin just not able to collect as it rolls into center field as it just hit the heel of his glove. It'll be the second defensive error on the day for the Oaks and allows Luke Johnson to reach first.
Yeah, Cade Falskin approached that ball with his glove a little prematurely. You saw him charging, which was good, but the way he tried to get that ball, he did not read the hop that it took and tried to pick it up with just the glove alone without a supporting hand, and where it hit off the glove just bounced right into center field. So another error for the Oaks.
It's now Reed Montgomery, who was 0 for 2 on the day, both via a strikeout, 1 looking, 1 chasing. As that hits the dirt, and Landon West is going to have to retrieve it back at the backstop, as another pass ball here allows Luke Johnson to advance. Second time today we've seen that. So an error and a pass ball now allows Luke Johnson to head to second base, and it's 2 defensive errors on the day for the Oaks. And Sammy, you were talking about it. The Oaks have got to play clean defense this game and throughout the next week if they want to, regain that championship. It's now a 1-0 count here to Reed Montgomery. And Fox out of his windup. That's high for a ball.
Yeah, I mean, these mistakes and these defensive lapses, they completely change the dynamic in the game. To begin with, the error by Falskin puts a runner on first with nobody out, and then the pass ball allows him to move in the scoring position and takes away the conventional force play, ground ball, double play.
That one grounded as Holly keeps it alive. As it stayed fair and it kind of veered out to the foul territory, but it was kept alive, so it allows Reed Montgomery to advance to the bags for the first time today.
Yeah, I mean, that was hit right down the line. Holly was able to knock it down, and Luke Johnson at the same time was able to read where it was and advance to third, take his base.
So prime position right here for Zach Crandall now at the plate. No outs, 2 runners on. They're at the corners. That's upstairs for a ball. Counts 1-0. Crandall on the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. So the Riptide looking to take the first lead, their first lead of the game, as now Montgomery in a situation where he's tagged out, but it's able to bring home a runner.
Well played by the Riptide.
So kind of a deke play right there by Reed Montgomery. Allows Luke Johnson to head home, and now the Riptide with the first lead of the game.
Yeah, well, you saw Reed Montgomery get off the bag a little early to get caught in a rundown, and Oaks had him easily, but at the same time, Johnson timed it perfectly and just started running at the perfect time to score another run.
It's upstairs for a ball.
Gives the Riptide a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, in a situation like this where there is no outs on the board, you'll take 1 out for 1 run, especially in a tightly contested match like this. It's a 2-0 count here to Zach Crandall. Just outside for a ball.
And considering that those first 2 base runners should have or could have been outs for the Oaks, Riptide will definitely take that.
Yeah, Luke Johnson reached on an error and brought home. Now a 3-0 count here to Crandall. Hits a fly ball out into right center field. Tommy Kendlinger veering to his left, and Danny Witz will make the play out in right center field. 2 down for the Oaks. So Riley Hunsaker now at the plate with 2 outs. 1 for 1 today with a single and a walk. First pitch. Outside for a ball. Well, the last time these two teams faced, back on June 29th, down at Great Park, when the Riptide ripped apart the Oaks, defeating them 11-3. 1-0. That's fouled off to the left, and I have to say, Sam, it almost felt like deja vu watching that game. In those 2 games at Great Park, the Riptide scored 5 runs in the 4th and 5th inning. Both times, the Oaks traveled down south.
And both times really after the starters left. It's just a nightmare for the Oaks.
The 1-1 pitch is low and outside for a ball.
Yeah, and you wonder what the Oaks' mindset will be on that bus to Irvine on Tuesday.
The 2-1. In the dirt for a ball. Counts now 3-1. Well, depending what happens this game, I mean, you have to imagine that a very focused mindset throughout this next week, as starting on Tuesday, that will be the last action in the regular season of the California Collegiate League. And then we have the playoffs, the 3-1. Just hits the inside corner for a strike. As Hunsaker thought that was a ball, but is going to have to return to the batter box for now a full count. Shakes some dirt off his cleats, and now a payoff pitch here from Alan Fox. In the dirt for ball 4, a 2-out walk for Riley Hunsaker. Puts another run on the bags, and now Jake Lambden, who was 0 for 2 today at the plate. And Lambden, we saw earlier, kind of got tripped up with Navarro out in the left field.
Right.
It seems like it was just nothing but a scratch.
Yeah, it's great to see him okay, and back to the plate.
So first pitch here from Alan Fox. An off-speeder that just freezes Lambden at the plate. 0-1. Two outs, 1 on. Fastball inside. Counts now 1-1. Lambden played 2 years at Xavier University, where he pitched and also hit. The 1-1. Off goes Hunsaker, as that's fouled off to the left. Hunsaker will have to retreat back to second base, or first base. Well, in 2025, Jake Lambden made 4 appearances on the mound, had a 9.0 ERA, allowed just 1 hit, 1 run, 1 being earned, and 1 strikeout. One, two as a check at first base. Hunsaker back safely. Well, if need be, Bradley Navarro due up next for the Riptide. It's a 3-2 ball game here. The Riptide took their first lead of the game this inning. The 1-2. That's grounded third base as Holly just shields it with his body. The throw is in time to first. So a defensive error allows the Riptide to take their first lead of the game. But 1 stranded as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Riptide leading 3-2. Back here at George Sparky Anderson Field, Jake Covey now into his 6th inning of action. It's the longest he's gone all summer long, and now his 3rd appearance this summer. Went 4 innings versus the San Diego Bombers, where he didn't allow a single run, 3 hits, and had a season-high 6 strikeouts. He only has 2 today, but now has set new season high as Devin Wilkes went around on the first pitch. Counts 0-1 here.
Jake Covey in his 6th inning of work, he's allowed just 2 runs, both of which were in that bottom of the 2nd inning where the Oaks scored one of those runs via an error.
Devin Wilkes 0 for 2 today, 0-1 count. Wilkes is a chopper to first base as Dans gets under it and is going to do it himself. Steps on the bag, 1 out.
Pretty routine there at first base, and the Riptide now with a 1-run lead against the Oaks. It'll be interesting to see how things unfold, as this is the 2nd time that the Oaks and Riptide face each other outside of Great Park this season.
Yeah, I would say these are extremely valuable games that the Oaks have to try to secure, as their history at Great Park not so great. That's outside for a ball, as Landon West now on his 3rd plate appearance today.
Well, if you're an Oaks fan or an Oaks player, it should make it that much more enjoyable just to enjoy the park other than the field itself.
The ball drops out of Cadina's glove, but it's still a strike called, so 1-1 count. I mean, the facility there at Great Park is the best in all the South Division. The 1-1. It's low for a ball. Counts now 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to highlight that big orange balloon in basically the middle of the park, which is actually a ride.
2-1. It's fouled off to the left. It's now count even at 2 apiece. And they do make some pretty mean barbecue. I will say.
Yeah, it's always something to look forward to after the game.
The 2-2 pitch to West. It's a foul ball, high and off to the right. Count remains 2 apiece.
Just to make our viewers hungry, that barbecue consists of some pulled pork, steak, mac and cheese, and Caesar salad.
It's kind of like a spicy Caesar salad, too.
You think?
Well, not, okay. I'm white. That's fouled off to the left. Count's still 2-2. I don't know if it's spicy. It just has like a... Maybe it's the dressing they use or something. Spicy is not the right word. I'm not using the right word with
Sometimes
spicy.
when I have like a vinegar dressing, I reach a point where every now and then the vinegar like catches up to my eyes.
Yeah.
That's not a great way to put it, but yeah.
Another 2-2 ball fouled off to the left. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Spicy is not the right word.
I mean, there was a time when I thought orange chicken was spicy.
Yeah, that might be. They got a spicy orange chicken now at Panda Express, so might have to try that.
Me too.
So it's a 2-2 count here to Landon West. Payoff from Covey. It's low and outside for a ball. Now 3-2. The thing at Great Park, I mean, they have, I want to say it's 24 soccer fields, something like that. Absurd number. The 3-2 as West fouls that straight back. And I think it's maybe 11 to 12 baseball fields. So, kind of this beautiful oasis in Irvine, California.
Oh, yeah. It is gorgeous.
So it's up to a full count here for Landon West. Payoff. West drives one into left field as it's just going to go foul. And he's now just learning from the umpire as he turns first base that and did in fact go foul.
Sorry to break the news to him.
Well, West putting up a good fight. Back to back to back to back foul balls here. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 3-2 ball game. The Riptide looking to snap the Oaks' 5-game winning streak. A 3-2 pitch. And he went around for strike 3. As Landon West not really in love with that call, but it's now the 3rd strikeout of the day for Jake Covey and the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, and that can be a situation where, as the batter, maybe you just prefer to see them defer to first, just to ask for that help. But umpire saw it, and there's now 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
So Zach Moore steps to the plate for the 3rd time today. He is 0 for 1 for 2, single and RBI. Looks at 1 outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Moore fouls that off to the right. It's now a 1-1 count. Well, Zach Moore redshirted his 2024 season with Westmont College. The 1-1. Outside for another ball. Counts now 2-1. Two-one pitch to Mora. Outside, that gets past the reaching glove of Cadena. It's up to a 3-1 count here as Zach Moore, with 2 outs, tries to keep things rolling for the Yokes in the bottom of the 6th inning, as now they are down by just 1 run. 3-1 pitch to Mora. It's a fly ball that's sent foul off to the left.
Oaks chasing just 1 run, and the Riptide just a few innings away from snapping their 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, the 5-game win streak, as it's a full count here. Moore grounds that to short. Lambden charged towards it. His throw on the run once again in time, as he continues to flash the leather in his legs at shortstop to get the 3rd out. It's a 1-2-3 inning once again for Jake Covey. Head to the 7th inning, as we're 2/3 through this game, and it's a 3-2 ball game. The 1-2-3 in the batting order for the Orange County Riptide gets things started in the 7th inning, as it's a 3-2 ball game. The Riptide looking to add insurance and get their 3rd win of the season versus the Oaks. So Bradley Navarre steps into the batter's box first.
Batting from the right side for the first time today.
As he shoots one just between second and first base for a leadoff single.
Xander Allen Fox in his 3rd inning of work looks to complete it. Allowed an unearned run in the 6th inning. We saw a couple of defensive mistakes, and as it turned out, it was Luke Johnson who was able to score, as Montgomery had stepped off the bag and got into a rundown. And he was tagged out, but Johnson was able to score on that play.
So now Jake Evans with 1 on. First pitch. Evans takes a strike. Well, in the 5-game winning streak for the Oaks, they have outscored opponents 30-20. And in their 3 wins this week, they have outscored opponents 21-10. So a very strong offensive week as well as defensive for the Oaks. An 0-1 count to Evans. Evans grounds out at third base as it just hits over Holly's glove. And it's another defensive error. Now those errors are starting to stack up, and the Riptide looking to take advantage once again.
Yeah, those errors stacking up like cash. And Holly just got his glove there, but just hit off, looked like kind of right by the webbing, but Holly just couldn't get a good grip on it. So, and I'm telling you, these errors, they are going to be what either, if the Oaks make too many, those are going to be what set them back later in the season.
Well, it's already costing them here as it's now 2 on. And Isaac Cadena was 0 for 2 with a walk today. First pitch is upstairs for a ball. It's now 3 defensive errors for the Oaks today. Did not record an error yesterday, but had 3 errors versus the Philippines baseball group on Friday and 2 versus the Saints on Thursday. The 1-0 pitch to Cadena. Checks his swing, and he went around. After confirmation by the third base umpire, it's now 1-1.
As Xander Allen Fox, some of the base runners he has allowed weren't exactly his responsibility that he inherited them.
So a 1-1 now count to Cadena. 2 on, no outs. Cadena takes a ball upstairs. So the Riptide in a good position right here to add to what is a 3-2 lead. They were on a 7-game winning streak, or potentially could have been 8, as the game on Friday, or no, I should say, on Friday versus the Saints was paused after they were up 20-8 in the 7th inning. So now it's a 2-1 pitch here to Cadena. Off goes the runners as West throws down to third base. His throw is not in time.
That's about as close as it could have been.
As Bradley Navarre slides home safely for now his 10th stolen base of the season. And also allows Jake Evans to steal another one himself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Landon West, you can't get rid of it any quicker than that. Took that ball up and threw it to third. Quick tag by Holly, but Navarro just got in there. That brings the infield in for the Oaks.
Good defense, just better base running. The 3-1 now to Cadena. Looks at a ball in the dirt. And that'll be ball 4. So now bases loaded situation here. As Isaac Cadena takes first base, Jake Evans on second, and Bradley Navarro on third. Leads way to Carter Dans.
Yeah, the Riptide knocking very loudly on the door in this inning here.
So now Carter Dans, who was 0 for 3 today, has gone down twice via the K. One time looking, one time chasing.
Riptide are ahead by 1 run. So they scored in the 6th inning to take a 3-2 lead, and now they've got a huge threat against Xander Allen Fox. Oaks need a double play so badly.
Dans looks at a ball outside. Well, the Riptide could turn into a tsunami right here if Carter Dans just swings that bat past any part of that fence back there in outfield. The 1-0 pitch. Upstairs for a ball. There is action. Looks like Damon Villa in the bullpen right now for the Oaks. Getting his arm warm with catcher Anthony Thomas. But right now, all eyes are on the infield as they are all in. Bases loaded. The 2-0 to Dans. Swing and a miss. It's a 2-1 count here.
Every pitch being more and more critical here, and Oaks, they're going to need a miracle to rebound from their mistakes.
2-1 pitch. Slow in the dirt for a ball. So one more ball would bring home Bradley Navarro for the 4th run of the day for the Riptide.
And absolutely nobody is holding Jake Evans at second, so a base hit to the outfield, given his lead, that could score him easily.
Yeah, good distance between shortstop Zach Moore and Cade Falskin, second baseman. It's a 3-1 pitch here to Dans. And it's upstairs for ball 4, so Bradley Navarro with a free pass will walk home, and Carter Dans will take first. It's now a 4-2 ball game in favor of the Riptide.
And out to the mound goes David Solis, and we'll see if that's it for Xander Allen Fox.
Well, he's given up back-to-back walks, and hard to blame him for the error, as that was just one that skidded over the glove side of Tyler Hawley.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be it.
So a quick mound visit will end his day as Damon Villa now comes on with bases loaded situation, and he will face the number 5 batter, Luke Johnson, when we return. Oaks down 4-2. Well, it's Damon Villa, the 2024 returner from the Conejo Oaks, takes the mound for now his 9th appearance, as he's already in some traffic with no outs, and it's Luke Johnson to the plate. All those runners accounted for Xander Allen Fox. His first pitch is outside.
Damon Villa making his 9th appearance. He's got 6 strikeouts on the season. He has allowed 6 total runs, 4 of those were earned, a 3.85 ERA.
So comes in a vital time, as it's now a 4-2 lead for the Riptide. The 1-0 pitch. That's grounded as it just eats up Zach Moore. He loses possession of the ball. Falskin throws it time to third.
Oh, looks like they're saying that Mora was in the way of the runner at second base, Jake Evans.
And Coach David Solis is going to have none of that, as he now talking to the third base umpire. So,
well, everything going wrong for the Oaks on defense.
It does bring home a run. Jake Evans is brought home. Now makes it a 5-2 ball game. But
run scores either way, but
yeah, I think the discussion is Isaac Cadena, who is
looks like Solis. Did he just get tossed? Oh, wait, somebody got tossed.
Who is he?
Somebody from the dugout. It's hard to see from here.
Yeah, well, it looked like he was pointing towards the dugout. It's unsure who exactly he's... Did he toss out a fan, or...?
Oh, it looks like it was Scott Radinsky, the pitching coach.
And hey, this dude is part of a...
And now Solis is going to talk to the home plate umpire.
So now it's a meeting of the umps and the Oaks coaching staff. So, yeah, Scott Radinsky looks to be the...
Yeah, this is the most incensed we've seen Solis this season, I think. And Radinsky. Now Solis has to hold him back.
Yeah, lots of words being shared between Scott Radinsky and the home plate umpire, who now Jose Valle is coming out to the dugout as Scott Radinsky heads back to the dugout. So we'll see what happens there. And Coach David Solis still having a conversation. Yeah, Scott Radinsky now is going to head to the... out of the dugout and to the back.
Even if it is an interference call, like, how can you blame Zach Mora there? He has no idea where Jake Evans is. He's
also
just fielding the ball, trying to make the play.
Yeah, he's trying to make the play, and it would... Had he tried to gone for a slide tackle and try to take Cadina's knees out, I mean, that's a different situation. But right there, I know he just tried to make the play, and really he was looking for the ball the whole time. The ball was, he couldn't find the ball. He was trying to locate the ball.
And if the interference was called after the ball skipped away and as he was trying to move to it, that's also he doesn't know exactly if, he sees the runner a little bit beforehand, but you can't anticipate if the runner's going to run exactly into you as you're just trying to field the ball where the ball is. I
think it's almost a question of, there was no intent behind it. He wasn't trying to, force Cadena off his route. It was human nature.
And situations like this almost take me back to last year in 2024. There was that double play interference calls. It was the Orioles and the White Sox, and there was a pop-up on the infield hit by Benintendi, and the runner at second base, Andrew Vaughn, was simply going back to the bag. Was not in the shortstop Gunnar Henderson's way at all. And Henderson, even working his way around, had plenty of time to catch the ball, and Vaughn was called out for interference.
Well, luckily for them, they had instant replay. We don't have any instant replay, so it's now going to be a meeting, and after a lengthy discussion, it's going to be looks to be, I think, the first plate umpire that's called now over a meeting in the infield. So.
Oh, well, after all that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And, if they change this call, it makes it an ill-advised play by the home plate umpire to throw out the pitching coach, Scott Radinsky.
Exactly. It's almost like it's a huge price. Yeah, but yeah, I believe it was Radinsky who was tossed.
And just from the corner of my eye, it looks like Radinsky's almost walking towards the bullpen on the outside of the field of play.
So the call stands. Looks like Mora was called for obstruction. Wow.
So, yeah, not a happy dugout by any means for the Oaks, as it's still bases loaded situation. So Luke Johnson was able to advance on an error, and it brings home Jake Evans for the 5th run. So after some lengthy conversations, nothing changed, and now Reed Montgomery up for 4th time today as he's 1 for 3, takes the ball outside. So all sorts of trouble for the Oaks, and it'll be interesting. We might have to go rewatch that during a break.
Yeah.
But right now it's a 1-0 count here to Montgomery. Swing and a miss. Villa gets him to drop to his knees.
And, maybe it wouldn't necessarily have been as heated if not for the way the defense has been for the Oaks and just the misfortune they have seen on the field.
Yeah, it all started with a ground ball, hard-hit ground ball to shortstop that Zach Moore couldn't control. So still 0 outs, bases loaded, 1-1. Montgomery takes a ball outside and low. So 2-1 count now. As Isaac Cadena at third base, Carter Dans at second, and Luke Johnson now at first base. 2-1 from Villa. Just hits the corner of the strike zone inside. Now an even count at 2. The payoff pitch from Villa. Just outside for ball 3. It's now up to a full count.
Also kind of tough to call as an umpire if you're in front of the infielders and you have to turn your back to see that action happen.
Yeah. Just a weird play all around that ultimately is going to be a costing one for the Oaks. Full count as Montgomery hits that straight back. Remains a full count here. So it looks like Joe Garcia and Scott Radinsky just having a conversation out in the bullpen. Obviously, Radinsky can't be in the field of play, but can still watch.
His best view is from the batting cages, I guess, in the sun.
So 3-2 here. That's chopped over the head of Nolan Johnson. It's going to bring home Isaac Cadena. Home comes Carter Dans. It's a 2 RBI single from Reed Montgomery, and the Riptide have brought a tsunami here in the 4th and the 7th inning. It's now 4 runs in the 7th inning, now make it a 7-2 ball game.
And you talk about adding insult to injury. Just one play after a controversial call, Reed Montgomery just chops that ball right over the glove of Nolan Johnson in a spot where he's able to bring home both Cadena and Dans. And Luke Johnson moved to third on the play.
Yeah, so still no outs. Runners now at the corners. Luke Johnson at third, Reed Montgomery at first. It's Zach Crandall, who is 0 for 2 today with a walk. The 1-0. Crandall checks his swing outside for a ball. Counts now 2-0. If I'm correct, I think that's the first time we've seen an Oaks, player or coach get thrown out of a game.
I believe you're right.
2-0 to Crandall. Outside for ball 3.
There was that one Oaks and Saints game where we saw, 3, 4 ejections?
Yeah, it was Aaron Milam and I think 2 Saints players along with him that got thrown out.
Yeah, and we know one of them was Jack Little because he was arguing from second base.
But that was in the 9th inning. This is in the 7th inning here. So it hits the outside corner, now a 3-1 count. Certainly also not the guy you want to get thrown out, especially when you want to get your pitcher's confidence.
Yeah, when your pitchers need you the most.
That one's grounded up the middle. Zach Moore tags on the bag for 1, turns it for 2. It's a 6-3 double play. All by the shortstop, Zach Mora.
That's got to feel pretty good for Mora. Some relief after being called for interference. I don't want to say gets an out back because a force play, it would have ultimately been the third if the call were different, but a much-needed double play and certainly overdue.
Does bring home Zach Crandall for the 8th run of the day for the Riptide as they now have an 8-2 lead. So bases have been cleared. It's an outside for a ball on Riley Hunsaker. Well, I mean, that's pretty much all you could have asked for if you were the Riptide. Loaded the bases, brought all the guys in. The 1-0. Inside in the lower part of the zone for a strike. Now 1-1. So this is all too familiar for the Oaks as they face the Riptide the 4th time, as that's outside for a ball.
Yeah, but this is a frustrating game for the Oaks in a much different circumstance now.
So 5 runs put up in the 7th, 8-2 here. Outside for another ball. So it's now 5 innings in which the Oaks have allowed the Riptide to score 5 runs. As that is shot right down the right field line. It's going to drop for a base hit as Hunsaker is going to turn it for 2 as Daniewicz collects, and a stand-up double with 2 outs. Has another runner in scoring position for the Riptide.
Riley Hunsaker with his second hit of the game. He's now 2 for 2 with 2 walks. And that ball was smoked down the right field line.
It's now Jake Lambden, the bottom of the order, who's 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice to third base and struck out once. So it's 2 outs, now 1 on for the Riptide as they lead 8-2. Damon Villa just trying to stop any sort of bleeding. So it hits the outside corner for a strike. Counts now 0-1.
Yeah, the double play certainly helped, but just want to get that last out if you're Villa.
0-1 count. It's in the dirt for a ball. Counts now 1-1. But it'll be very interesting how they score that game, or how when they finally make it official, of the 20-8 game that is paused in the 7th inning between the Riptide and Saints. As Lambden looks at a strike, certainly has major implications. I mean, I would think a 20-8 game, the Riptide will win, but once they make that official, it would put the Riptide up to 19 wins. They're currently at 18 with that game on pause. So a 1-2 count here to Lambden. Grounds that at third base as Holly collects, throws over to first in time, and it gets the 3rd out. But the Riptide bring a tsunami in the 7th inning, score 5 runs, making an 8-2 ball game, plus an ejection of Scott Radinsky. Ends a nightmare inning here as we head to the bottom of the 7th. But right before, we'll take a quick stretch and get a walk. We'll see. Back here in the bottom of the 7th inning, as it was all sorts of trouble and more for the Oaks in the 7th inning, as it was a 5-run top of the 7th for the Riptide, as now Cade Falskin takes the mound or takes the plate, and it's now Jonathan Van Ness on the mound for the Riptide. Falskin looks at a strike, counts now 1-1. So we saw Scott Radinsky get thrown out of that game, or thrown out of this game.
Well, you show up to the ballpark, you never know what you're going to see.
We just have to put new batteries.
Got it.
I knew this.
You've been running on the same battery since the start of the war.
No, not since. That would be crazy.
He's strapped. He's
It's either that or a power outage.
Let's hope not for the latter. Yeah, this is still charging. You're good.
I've been waiting for this one.
It's fine.
Actually, I've had those batteries for like at least 2 weeks. I was like, I'm just ready for like.
Just prepared.
Do apologize for the quick mute. Our sound system died, so had to get some new batteries in it, but certainly a strikeout there by Cade Falskin now leads way to Tommy Kenlinger as it's a fly ball out into right field, and it's just going to go foul.
That ball kept twisting in the wind.
So it's one down already for the Oaks.
I'll just say this may have been the best time for the mixer to die.
Yeah.
I mean, just glad it didn't happen during something huge.
Yeah, certainly so. And in a situation like this where the Oaks are really now with their backs against the wall, the 1-1. As that is driven into right center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. It's a 1-out single for Tommy Kenlinger. So 1 on, 1 out now for the Oaks.
Well, that's a start for the Oaks to get a base runner on. They are chasing 6 runs after the Riptide have scored 5 in the 7th. 6 innings in the last 2 runs. 6 runs in the last 2 innings.
So it's now Lucas Daniewicz, who is 1 for 3 today with a single and a pair of ground outs. 1 out, 1 on. First pitch to Daniewicz. Trails outside for a ball. Counts now 1-0 with Jacob Galloway due up next. And I will say during the break, I did rewatch, the part of the play where Luke Johnson hit a ground ball to shortstop. And I have to say, I don't really see any sort of interference upstairs for a ball.
Yeah, for one, there was no interference, and 2,
it's a legal play.
Yeah, he was just making the play. He was fielding the ball.
So a 2-0 count now to Lucas Daniewicz. Van Ness out of his windup. Upstairs for another ball is 3-0. Well, Van Ness is 1-0 on the season with a 1.84 ERA, making his 7th appearance on the mound. Pitched 14 2/3 innings. Has 15 strikeouts, 7 walks, 9 hits. His 1 win came versus the Oaks back on June 29th, the last time these two teams faced off, where he went 2 innings. Upstairs for ball 4, 4-pitch walk for Lucas Daniewicz, now puts 2 on. So a little bit of momentum here as it's now 2 base runners on, 1 out. Brings up Jacob Galloway. Van Ness in that win versus the Oaks allowed 1 run, that being earned, and 2 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout in the 10 batters he faced. Most recently pitched versus the Barons on July 11th. Went 2 innings as well. Struck out 2 and 6 batters he faced. No runs, no walks, no hits allowed. So the Oaks not out of this one as Jacob Galloway, certainly someone that is lethal at the plate when runners are in scoring position, has 20 RBIs on the season, batting .320. Has 5 doubles, a team leading. First pitch. Galloway takes upstairs. Counts 1-0.
Jonathan Van Ness, sophomore at Belmont. Originally from Knoxville, Tennessee.
So the 1-0 count here to Galloway. 1 out, 2 on. Just takes a sinker. Now 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Galloway. It's a short pop fly into shortstop as Jake Landman, all he does is camp and get the out. So 2 down now for the Oaks.
Van Ness gets a key out there as Oaks have 2 runners on. 1 via hit and 1 via walk. And, you know, they're still... We've seen this team pull it off. Anything could happen. It has been a frustrating day overall for the Oaks.
So 2 outs, 2 on now for the Oaks as Tyler Hawley steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk today. First pitch. Hawley takes a strike on the outside corner. So it's after a 5-run 7th inning, it's quite the quiet ballpark here at George Sparky Anderson Field. The 0-1 to Hawley. Just upstairs for a ball. Counts now 1-1. So the Oaks trying to work out of a 6-run hole here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 1-1 pitch to Hawley. Outside for a ball. So these 2 teams will face off 2 more times. Next time we'll be at Great Park down in Irvine, California.
This Tuesday at 5 p.m.
And back at George Sparky Anderson Field on Wednesday to finish off the 3-game series. Hawley fouls that off. Straight back. It's now a 2-2 count. Nolan Johnson due up next if need be. Right now it's Lucas Daniewicz at first base, Tommy Kenlinger at second. Hawley just trying to do what he can to get the Oaks back in this one. 2-2 pitch. As Hawley chases one outside, is tagged for the strikeout, and it's now the 2nd strikeout and the final strikeout of the bottom of the 7th inning. As Jonathan Van Ness leaves 2 stranded, we head to the 8th. 8-2 Riptide. Top of the 8th inning. It's an 8-2 ball game in favor of the Riptide, as the Oaks certainly have work to do. And Damon Villa now on the mound as it's a line drive straight into the glove of Cade Falskin. 1 pitch, 1 out.
And one quick out for Damon Villa as he came on and had to face a bases-loaded mess that ended up spelling disaster for the Oaks, but good little start to his rebound there.
So now brings the second batter in the order, Jake Evans, to the plate. Riptide batted around last inning. Jake Evans looks at a strike inside, takes one. So counts 0-1. Riptide. That time inside as Riptide trying to get their 19th win of the season and push closer to a potential #1 seed in the California Collegiate League South Division playoffs. The #1 seed gets the bye as the 2 and 3 would play in a wild card game. The 1-1 pitch. It's outside for a ball. Counts now 2-1. So all sorts of issues thus far today for the Oaks as Jonah Dawson now replaces Tyler Hawley at third base. 2-1. Upstairs for a ball.
Yeah, Hawley was hitless on the day and also didn't have a great day at third base today overall.
3-1 pitch. It's hit high, is going to stay in the field of play as Johnson tries to get over and make the play, and he can. Just outside of foul territory on the right side. It's now 2 down. Already a better start to this inning than we saw in the 7th.
Yeah, most certainly, and it's gotten pretty quiet in the past inning, as you mentioned, here at George Sparky Anderson Field, and it's been a quiet top of the 8th as well.
Well, the Oaks offense has been kept quiet, and the Riptide have come in storming. It's an 8-2 ball game, and now Isaac Cadena takes the strike outside. Well, he was part of that pretty much play that started everything on that ground ball to shortstop, and Zach Moore, it wasn't error recorded on him, but he was searching for the ball, and they said that, or the call was that he had interfered with Isaac Cadena's route to third base, which I now will say I've looked back at the tape and just not the case at all. And then even so, you know, if he's making it's not like he just ran into his route. He pretty much just was trying to make a play.
In other words, he was doing his job.
Swing and a miss from Cadena. It's now 1-2. Well, that pretty much set the spark into a fire, as it'd be another 3 runs scored in that inning for the Riptide, part of a 5-run 7th inning. The 1-2 pitch to Cadena. Payoff from Villa. Just upstairs for a ball. Counts now even at 2. So no action in the Oaks bullpen. A little bit in the Riptide. The 2-2 pitch from Villa. In the dirt for a ball. It's now up to a 3-2. So the Riptide once again making a statement versus the Oaks thus far. Trying to capture their 3rd win of the season versus the Oaks. Have only dropped 1. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Cadena via the K, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Damon Villa. So we head to the bottom of the 8th, just down to 6 final outs for the Oaks to try to mount a comeback. They trail 8-2. We'll be right back. Bring you back here to George Sparky Anderson Field as a quick word from Pizza Man Dan's in all 6 locations in Ventura County. Get your hot pie now, as the Oaks certainly want to heat up here with now Nolan Johnson stepping to the plate. It's bottom of the 8th inning. The Oaks trail 8-2. It's now Nick Bond on the mound as first pitch is outside for a ball. Gets past the catcher Isaac Cadena. Nick Bond. The senior from Dallas Baptist University, making his 5th appearance of the summer. Has an 0-1 record with a 9.44 ERA. He's pitched in 6 2/3 inning with 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 9 hits. His 1 loss coming versus the Oaks back on June 28th. The 1-0. Johnson hits a fly ball out to right field as Hunsaker camps under it and gets the out.
Yeah, that game that he got his loss, that was the walk-off wild pitch that the Oaks won off of. That was played at Ventura College.
It's now Devin Wilkes stepping to the plate, who is 0 for 2, 0 for 3 on the day with a run. Reached on an error back in the 2nd inning. Pretty much the only inning that the Oaks have been able to hang their hat on with the 2 runs in the 2nd inning. Other than that, they've been held pretty much scoreless. Not pretty much, they have been held scoreless. 8-2 as first pitch gets past Devin Wilkes in the dirt. It's a 1-0 count here. So the Oaks now just down to 5 outs in this one to mount any sort of comeback. The 1-0 pitch to Wilkes. Swing and a miss. And well, maybe they don't, maybe the Riptide aren't able to secure first spot, but this is certainly a team that the Oaks will likely see in the playoffs and a team they're going to have to beat. The 1-1. Swing and a miss from Wilkes. You ideally probably want to play it at George Sparky Anderson Field, but after the result today, I mean, the Riptide just have had the number thus far versus the Oaks. But it is a 1-2 pitch here to Wilkes. As he chomps that into the dirt, foul.
Yeah, I will say the last time that the Riptide had played the Oaks last season, it was a loss for the Oaks, 8-2, back on July 26th of last year.
The 1-2 to Wilkes. Grounds that to shortstop as Lambden on the dive. And on the throw, gets it. Man, Lambden has had an all-star performance out in shortstop today, and he continues with a beautiful play right there.
You can't do it any better if you're Jake Lambden there. He laid all out. That ball was headed right up the middle. And, you know, I got to say, if that was just about anyone but Wilkes running, it could have been safe. But Lambden, he got that ball, had just enough time, was able to get his man Wilkes at first.
Well, he's made throws on the run. He's made diving plays, doing it all defensively.
A leaping catch at short on a line drive. What have we not seen? Every time we think we haven't seen something, we see it.
We haven't seen a backflip catch yet.
Oh, true.
It's a 1-0 to West as it's now outside. I mean, that would just put the cherry on top, but obviously no. He's had a amazing performance out in shortstop and has robbed some guys of hits. It's now a 2-0 to Landon West. Swing and a miss. As it's Zach Moore due up next, but with every out, the chances are slowly dwindling for the Oaks here. The 2-1. West takes a strike. The payoff pitch from Bond. West just gets a piece of that, fouls it off to the right. So the Oaks have not given the fans much to cheer about here, as they're on the verge of getting their 5-game winning streak snapped. The 2-2 pitch by Bond. Swing and a miss for Landon West as he chases one outside, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Nick Bond in his first appearance on the mound. We head to the 9th inning. Riptide leading 8-2. And it's the final inning here at George Sparky Anderson Field as the Riptide will try to add a little bit more insurance to what is already a big lead in 8-2. It's the 4-5-6 in the batting order up first. It's Carter Dans on first pitch, hits a fly ball out into right field. Danny Wood's going back to the warning track, and it just drops out of his glove as Carter Dans now goes for 3 as the relay throw comes in, but he slides into third base safely as it's another defensive error for the Oaks.
Well, that's been about this game in a nutshell for the Oaks as Danuitz, and that's very uncharacteristic. He practically always makes those plays out there in right field and wherever he is, but I don't know if it was the sun that distracted him or whatever it was, but he just dropped it.
Well, now puts a Riptide base runner 90 feet away from another run as it's inside to Luke Johnson. And yeah, I mean, that pretty much just sums up the day for the Oaks. So 1-0 here as Johnson just gets under it and sends it into center field as Dans will tag on, and the out is done by Kendalinger, but no throw will be made in time. So another run added. It's now 9-2 Riptide off a sacrifice fly by Luke Johnson.
Well, that's how you do it. Make your team pay for an error as Johnson drives that ball plenty deep enough to get Dans home.
It's what the Riptide have been doing all day long, making the Oaks pay for their mistakes. And now Reed Montgomery with 1 out. Takes a strike on the outside. He's 2 for 4 today with 2 singles, a pair of RBIs, so a pair of strikeouts. Started the game 0-2, but has come alive in the 6th and 7th inning. Second pitch is outside for a ball this time. Counts now 1-1.
Yeah, well, got to give credit to Damon Villa. He's been pitching pretty well today. His most frustrating inning was probably that 7th. And what's become of this 9th?
The 1-1 upstairs for a ball. I mean, he came in with bases loaded situation. That's no easy task for any sort of pitcher to come into a game. It's now a 2-1 count here to Montgomery. Gets a piece of it, fouls it off to the left. It's now an even count at 2.
Yeah, Reed Montgomery, he's had a pretty good day at the plate. He singled back in the 6th inning and had a Two RBI single back in the 7th.
The 2-2 inside for ball 3. Well, I don't know if the Oaks are going to need much more motivation, but this certainly should add to the motivation when they head down to Irvine Park. I mean, they've been taking some big blows today versus the Riptide.
Yeah, I expect there to be a very distinct discussion afterwards.
So that's fouled off to the right. So like I said, I mean, if this game finishes how it will probably go, the Riptide will get their 19th win and then potentially maybe their 20th win depending when they decide to finish that game versus the Saints. 3-2. That's grounded to first base as Johnson will do it himself, step on the bag. It's 2 outs now. So leads way to Zach Crandall, who's 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout, hit into a double play. Does have an RBI.
Yeah, really just defense has largely been the story for the Oaks today.
So first pitch here for Villa. Swing and a miss. As Crandall chases outside. Counts now 0-1. Well, the Oaks will have the day off, as well with the Riptide, tomorrow on Monday. It's a 5-ball foul off to the right. So it's an 0-2 count here to Zach Crandall as the Oaks trail 9-2 in this one as we finish out Week 7 in the California Collegiate League. The Oaks will have one last offensive opportunity. The 0-2 pitch. It's low and inside for a ball. Counts now 1-2. So in the 4th meeting right now, the Riptide have had the number all day long, and really it's been the story of those 3 losses. Just the defensive miscues from the Oaks, and the Riptide just taking advantage. The 1-2 pitch from Villa. And it hits the inside corner for a strike as he freezes Crandall. Gets the strikeout, and we head to the bottom of the 9th as it's now down to just 3 final outs for the Oaks to mount any sort of comeback. We'll be right back. Back here in the bottom of the 9th inning as Zach Moore gets things started for the Oaks. It's just down to final 3 outs for them to mount a comeback here as Zach Moore on the day, 1 for 3. He fouls that one off his foot.
Yeah, well, I think one thing we've been seeing offensively for the Riptide, for one, they've been able to capitalize on a lot of mistakes, but then even on, with 2 outs at bats, we've seen them really been able to work the pitchers when they get ahead at first and just really, get into their bullpen as we've been seeing. We saw Xander Allen Fox come out in the 7th inning with the bases loaded in a frustrating fashion.
Well, it's 5 defensive errors on the day for the Oaks as the Riptide have just picked them apart here in the first official game at George Sparky Anderson Field. The 0-1 to Mora. It's inside for a ball. Counts now 1-1.
Yeah, pick them apart like Legos.
There you go. So, yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see when the Riptide and the Saints play that game again as Mora looks at his strikeout side. I mean, that has a lot of implications. I mean, this is a win potentially right here and then a 20th win that they could have versus the Saints.
And quite frankly, I'm thinking, is it even worth the inconveniency to resume it? I mean, it's 20-8 in the 7th inning.
The 1-2 inside for a ball. No, I mean, yeah, 20-8. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen, but I think the Saints and the Riptide just play they play 2 more times, one at Jackie Robinson, one at Great Park. The 2-2 pitch. As Mora went around for strike 3, so 1 down here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the call this past end of February at Kowloon. Baseball had a Friday 3 p.m. game that ended, I believe it was 21-4 against Whitman College, and the game actually went so long, and that night it was men's basketball's Friday night SCIAC semifinal game. And this game took so long that I had to leave in the 8th inning to prep for that.
I think they understood.
Yes, and I had a color commentator, and he covered me great. Shout out to Liam Flanagan.
So it's now Cade Falskin with 1 out. Takes a strike. And it's 0-1, so the Oaks will try to regroup as Ethan Gonzalez now on the on-deck circle. The 0-1. Falskin hits a fly ball out into left center field. Up moves Navarre from his post and able to get the out this time. So 2 batters, 2 gone. It's back to the top of the order as Ethan Gonzalez now coming in as a pinch hitter. One of the California Collegiate League All-Stars for the Oaks. Making his first appearance since that break. So he steps to the plate now as the right-hander will try to will the Oaks back, but a tall task here.
Yeah, his first appearance in a week. Last appeared in the 4-1 win against the Arroyo Seco Saints on July 13th.
So the first pitch here. Low and outside for a ball. Counts now 1-0.
Gonzalez with 19 hits on the season. He's got 7 RBIs. Batting .284.
The 1-0 pitch to Gonzalez. Upstairs for a ball. Counts now 2-0. Well, we mentioned it already, but the Oaks and Riptide will be back in action on Tuesday, 5 p.m. down in Irvine, California at Great Park. Oaks will look to rebound the 2-0. Outside for another ball. Counts now 3-0.
And Nick Bond in his second inning of work here would complete 2 innings in relief should this lead hold with 1 out to go.
So a 3-0 count here to Gonzalez. Upstairs for ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk. As Gonzalez will take first base with 2 outs and it will lead way to Lucas Daniewicz. It's almost tough to believe because, I mean, Gabe Howard had such a strong outing on the mound in the 4 innings he pitched, had 7 strikeouts, 2 runs, 1 just being earned. So now Lucas Daniewicz with 2 outs, 1 on. Gonzalez takes to second and just nobody there. So he'll easily steal second base.
Yeah, Riptide not worried about a steal whatsoever with a 7-run lead and 1 out to go.
So a 1-0 count here to Daniewicz. Oaks just slowly trying to bring it back. Takes a ball inside. Counts now 2-0. Isaac Cadena going to go up to a mound visit. Yeah, just all sorts of issues. Our first time we've seen an Oaks coach or staff get thrown out of a game.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all said things to referees, and
sure.
It was just, I think, how quick it happened.
Uh-huh.
And especially, I mean, Scott Radinsky being in the dugout, David Solis having a lot more of the conversation with the third base and the home plate umpire.
And us not really being able to see Radinsky from where we are, from our vantage point.
I don't know. I think he probably has some things to say being a MLB pitcher.
Oh, sure.
So 2-0 to Daniewicz. Looks at a ball low. It's now 3-0. So 7 straight balls here from Nick Bond. Already walked Ethan Gonzalez. 3-0. Daniewicz takes the ball upstairs. It's back-to-back walks with 2 outs for the Oaks as 2 men on base. So Jacob Galloway to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today with a pair of walks.
If Galloway gets on, I'm interested to see if he would stay on base or possibly have a pinch runner.
Yeah, I could see a guy like Isaac Veal just with his speed on the bags. But for right now, Galloway's focused just on getting on base. First pitch, upstairs for a ball. So 9 consecutive balls right here from Nick Bond. There's a 4-pitch walk for Ethan Gonzalez, a 4-pitch walk for Lucas Daniewicz. 2 outs. Swing and a miss from Galloway. A 90-mile-per-hour fastball just muscled by Galloway. So if need be, Jonah Dawson due up next. The 1-1 pitch to Galloway. Takes one outside for a ball. Counts now 2-1. So the Oaks on verge of getting their 5-game winning streak snapped. The 2-1 pitch. Galloway hits a fly ball out into right center field. Back goes Montgomery, and that's the 3rd out. So a last try not successful for the Oaks as it's a little too late as they now drop their 10th game of the season. They lose 9-2 here at George Sparky Anderson Field. It's the 3rd game they've lost to the Riptide, and they get their 5-game win streak snapped. As we now bring you into the booth, and just tough all around. I mean, you talked about at the top of the show, you talked about just the defensive errors that they couldn't give up, and they gave up 5 today. And, the pitching was started off strong, and the bats didn't get going. All sorts of trouble. What did you make of this game today?
Foreshadowed it from the beginning. Defensive issues were the story for the Oaks on the field, and the bats were quieter than a library today. But I think really the amount of the most tension that we saw was in that 7th inning, that interference call on Zach Mora at short. And from the discussion we saw from David Solis, the head coach, ironically, it was Scott Radinsky who was tossed after what he said from the dugout. But and the Riptide would continue to add insult to injury from there by continuing to just bounce on the Oaks and score more runs. And that one last error in the 9th inning on that fly ball to Lucas Daniewicz in right field. But today was just not a great day all around for the Oaks. And you can definitely predict that there's a lot of things being said by the coaching staff in their post-game meeting, and they're going to have a lot of momentum heading to Great Park on Tuesday.
Well, there'll be certainly a lot to talk about. They have tomorrow off on Monday. They'll be back in action on Tuesday for 5 p.m. at Great Park versus the Orange County Riptide, and just a game that's kind of unexplainable, the defensive errors and everything to it. So the Oaks have now lost 3 of the 4 games versus the Riptide, as they will try to hopefully get back to winning ways on Tuesday. Alongside Sammy Fawn, I've been Judo Kanyas. And for the rest of our Canal Oaks crew, we thank you and have a good rest of your Sunday.